Hello team, Blake Sargent here, and today I'm going to look at, should I open my own practice? Again, a question we get quite regularly because we come across people who are successful practitioners in their own right, and they're asking that question, do I take the step? I mean, things are all right now, but if I'm not working, then I'm not earning. And should I open my own practice, or should I still be an associate in somebody else's? Or should I just have a one room? Like, what's the model you want moving forward? So really, to answer that question, again, we've got to look to the future and ask ourselves, where do we want to be in 3, 5, 10 years time? And we've got to understand this concept of the model. And a model is the business vehicle that can get you to where you want to go. And some models can only take you so far. So for example, if you're a sole practitioner, I like to think of that as like having a super bike. I mean, there's only one seat, and you can go very fast, but you've got to go alone. And that bike will never actually get you it'll never do the marathon. It's got a small fuel tank. It can never, ever take you to practice Nirvana. Practice Nirvana is what we describe as, a business with an engaged team where you don't need to be doing the treating. And the business can ultimately work without you. It means that you can also start serving more people, because it's not just you and your hands and your time helping people out. So with regards to that, you've first got to look at where do you want to be in the future. And if you want to head to practice Nirvana, right, and you want to be able to build something that can work without you and have other people treating other patients, then should you open your own practice? Hell yeah. And what's great is, we teach something called the pay-as-you-go method, where really when we ask this question of should I open my own practice, a lot of it comes down to the fear behind it. And we ask ourselves, and it feels scary. But when we understand that actually renting a place doesn't actually need to be a massive step, and actually when we get 100% of the income, actually we might be financially better off than being an associate. But also that in the long run, if we've got more space, then we can really serve more patients and actually get people in that can do the treating instead of us doing the treating. So we do a little calculation to allay people's fears, which is this: that if you were to ever to hire somebody, the maths works out roughly that they would only need to see about 14 patients a week on average, depending on how much you charge, what your average spend is. They would actually only need to see about 14 patients a week to cover their full-time salary. So when we start thinking of that, and we start thinking the entry and exit costs of renting a practice is actually not that high. And so actually, if we're not having to give away a percentage and we can start looking at it ourselves, then maybe it's not as scary as we always thought. And if we're in a model, or we're on a super bike that can only take us to a certain destination, then we've really got to start thinking, well, what model will take me ultimately to where I want to go? Hope that helps.